All right, we're here with Mitch Hedberg, and he's going to be at the Tempe Improv this weekend. And thanks for stopping by. And we know you're pretty busy. And I've seen your act. Actually, the day that they asked me if I wanted to do the interview with you, I saw you on Comedy Central Presents.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was absolutely hilarious.
Thanks.
And your delivery is completely different than anybody else I've ever seen. You don't like do the whole setup of, so I was walking down the street or whatever. You just like blurt stuff out. Where does that come from?
That just comes from, years of trying to tell jokes and just settling on a certain thing. I guess it's just whatever feels comfortable. I'm not a storyteller in real life, so I don't see the need to string my jokes in a story-like fashion. I just figure one thought, when it's over, I just go to the next thought.
Yeah. And I was checking out your website today, and I saw that you're going to have a comedy CD that's going to be coming out pretty soon here. And do you have an update of like the exact date at all, or?
Well, I tell you what, man, I'm going to lose a lot of money on this CD because it's going to be in stores, and the profit margin for CDs when you sell them yourself is amazing. It costs about $1.50 to make a CD, and you can sell it for like $15. But now I'm going to make probably $1 a CD at the most. So I'm a little sad about it. I really don't want to talk about it because it's making me sad. But I would say by spring, it should be in the stores on Comedy Central Records. I guess they have a new label now.
Well, I have a burner if you want to just burn them, and we could sell it for like $15.
Yeah, I mean, that won't even cost $1.50 then. I feel bad even saying that. But I'll tell you this: when I play college shows, I sell them for $10 because I know college people. They're not exactly always loaded. So I just want to know I drop it from 15 to 10. Yeah. I did it right here at Washington University.
And what's it like to be in Arizona? Where are you from, first of all?
Minnesota, and I think there's a lot of Minnesotans in Arizona. But I love it here, especially now. This is amazing. I'd live here if the entertainment industry was a little closer. I dig it here. I like sun, man. I mean, I'm way into it. So this place makes me happy.
Yeah, and you also got your chance to be in the entertainment industry a little bit more. Besides just doing the stand-up, you also did some movies. You did like Almost Famous and stuff. What was that like to do that?
Well, it was great because I most of the auditions I do, I blow. And this particular one, I got a callback. And when I did the callback, I got to audition in front of Cameron Crowe, and he's a pro, and he put me in his movie, gave me a couple lines. In the end, my scene is very small, and I'm embarrassed that it's a credit now because when people go see the movie, they hardly see me. But when I filmed the movie, I did a lot more than you see in the movie. So it was a great experience, man.
Yeah.
And then TV, of course, that was, I'm glad I got just a couple spots on the sitcoms because it kind of showed me what it's all about and gave me some time. You got to have a couple of things where you can burn your bad performances, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because it takes a while for me to get comfortable in new situations. Like, I had like 5 cable comedy shows that I did before I got on Letterman, and that was good because those 5 ones sucked. And by the time I got to Letterman, I was a little bit more prepared. So it's good to have chances to burn the bad performances.
Yeah, and Letterman loves you. You've been on there like 7 times, right?
9.
9 times, sorry. And so he really likes you a lot. What's that like when you go there and get to do that show?
Well, I think he does like me, but he's very, very aloof. He doesn't hang out or talk to the talent. But doing the show is great because everyone there is nice to me too. They're just cool, and the makeup ladies they know my jokes and they'll say them back. And only thing that sucks is comedians get bumped a lot on that show. But this turns out to be a free vacation to New York. Actually, a paid vacation to New York. So it doesn't bother me. It's a great thing to do.
Yeah, that's cool. And so what kind of stuff do you do? You've been touring for like 3 months now, right? Or maybe longer, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I've been on the road. This particular stint, I've been doing all of January. And then before that, I was on a 4-month nonstop tour. And it's just great, man. I mean, hotel life is cool because there's no mail. Mail can depress you.
Yeah.
How's that sound coming? Is it coming in, man? And the mail, there's so much noise out here. The mail is I just love not getting mail, and I love having my bed made by a nice woman.
Yeah. And so is that hard, though, not spending time at, your house, which you're paying for anyways? And
yeah, it is hard, but that's why I'm glad I own a house, because it used to be I'd be on the road and I'd be renting, and that'd just be purely throwing money away. I mean, I wouldn't be there for a full month, and I'd have to pay rent, but now at least, I pay for a month, and it's a mortgage, and I own it, so it's a better situation. Own before you rent when you're on the road.
And is there like something that you, whenever you're touring at some city, you say, I gotta be sure I do this?
Yeah, I gotta. That's a good question, man. I gotta be sure I get out of the hotel room. That's what I got, because I tend to spend a lot of time in there just hanging out and sleeping, man. It kind of becomes a habit, you know. I gotta get outside. That's what I gotta do.
Yeah. And I also, you're like this big entrepreneur now. You got the CD coming out. And then I also saw on your website that you have incense that you sell.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, that's the thing. It's kind of sketchy to sell stuff that's based on a joke in your act. You don't want people to think you're corny or you know, you want, you know, to have integrity. But on the other hand, you know, if the product's relatively cool, it was my webmaster's idea to make incense, and I went with it. It's always been a very give and take thing with me to sell stuff, you know, T-shirts or whatever. But for the most part, as long as it's promoting you, you know, you can't go wrong. You got to promote yourself a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But I've always been a little wishy-washy on selling stuff. I hope people don't think it's corny, man, because if they do, I'll take that stuff right off.
And also, speaking of the entertainment industry type stuff, you have written some scripts. And have you gotten to actually, like, show any people these things, you know, that you want to do or not yet?
Well, I wrote a movie script, Los Enchiladas, and it played. We filmed it. I paid for it, and it played at Sundance, so that was a good
cool.
thing. But other than that, the scripts that I turned in, you know, until something is officially accepted, most people will say it's not good. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to get people on board on something that you write. So that's why a lot of times you got to take the work on yourself and try to get it made yourself. You know, because until someone gets behind something, no one else gets behind it. And then once one person gets behind it, everyone's behind it. So it's a hard thing, man. It's hard. I've written some stuff that I thought was hilarious, but I turned it in, and a lot of times these people won't even read it. They'll turn it over to their assistant to read it, and their assistant is, you know, not who I'm trying to impress. You know what I mean? So it's a hard thing, man. It's really hard. But that's why writing jokes is great. It's immediate payoff. Yeah. I get to get the immediate reaction. I know if it's good, and I'm my own boss. You know?
Yeah. And so, like, most comedians, I can ask them, you know, like, so what do you think about this? Because I know that they do something about it in their routine. You, it's kind of just like random stuff. So what's like some crazy stuff, something that made you laugh over the past week or something like that?
You know, you ain't gonna believe this, but that Chris Kattan movie, Courtney, what's it called? Corky Romano, man. Yeah. You know what, man? I saw it the first time, I hated it. You know, this is another bad movie. But then I saw it again, and I laughed my head off at these at this slapstick moments.
You can say ass if you want.
My ass off, yeah, because you know I wasn't going for head there. But I was laughing my ass off at his slapstick, man. Sometimes, every now and then, a really physical comedian will make me laugh hard if I give it a second chance, you know. Yeah. My first impression is, that's just some physical comedy. But after, man, I said, man, that's funny, man. I was laughing hard at Corky Romano.
And is there anything that, like, once you got to Arizona, you're like, that is just completely weird, I don't understand that?
Once I got here?
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, I'm sure there is. You know, my hotel has a coffee shop that never opens. So I thought that was weird. You know? Yeah. When I got out for morning radio, I said, I'm going to get a coffee. And I went down there, it was closed. They'll probably open at 10 p.m., you know? Right. Start serving coffee at 10.
And, yeah, well, thanks so much for coming here. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thanks. I hope the ambient sound didn't ruin it.
No.